So to tell you a little bit about how I recovered from burnout, first I need to tell you how I got burned out in the first place. So I had a business and a sexuality school, and I found a lot of success in this experience. And we ended up having a global sexuality school where I trained over 100 practitioners in the space of like 3 years. It was a very awesome time. I had a lot of fun, but inside of blowing up so quickly, I then put myself in an experience where I did not know what to do, did not know how to handle all the energies, and a lot of my life was actually changing rapidly at that time. I had a breakup, I moved house 3 times during that period of time, and yeah, I had a business for the first time in my life. So in this process, I started to believe in a lot of different ideas, and I started to listen to entrepreneurship. And listening to entrepreneurship was actually one of the first places I went wrong, because the people I was receiving information from were male, very masculine, empowered men, but they were not working with the kind of cycles and energetics that I have inside of my being. And so I actually ended up giving away a lot of my ideas around femininity to actually connect in and have business success. But what that created for me was a business that I didn't want. So this is already the first thing that I want to share with you about reclaiming your feminine energy. It is actually about unhooking from this experience of what you think you should do. And it is about realigning to this current of energy that lives inside of you, and trusting the timing of it, even when it seems like the world knows better than us, or that the world is moving faster than what this energy can keep up with. The second piece is recognizing where your fulfillment is. So nowadays, if I look at any kind of business structure or way of doing life, I'm not ready to just turn myself inside out for any other person's ideas to have the goal that I want. I recognize that I have a goal, and then it's not just actually a process of going for that goal no matter what. It's actually a process of me recognizing what is my pathway, my personal pathway to finding that answer. And what I've recognized is that there is 100 different ways that you can do anything, especially entrepreneurship. So the process is never about just taking the first one or the fastest one. Anytime you see a YouTube clip that says 30 days to creating $1 million or something like this is usually a red flag that you are actually going to experience of actually moving out of your own personal alignment and out of what is going to create fulfillment. Because once you actually achieve these goals, which is the experience that I had of recognizing that I had an amazing business, I had the success, I had the status, I had all of these things, but what I didn't have was fulfillment. What I didn't have was peace inside of myself, and what I didn't have was my health, which is ultimately the most important thing. So the process was actually about this unpacking where I was out of alignment. So one of the things that I did to do that was actually recognize how I could give myself self-care first. Self-care was a process for me around self-massage. This is when I actually started working with Yoni Elixir, and I started really drawing these energies back into my body. I started drawing on these frequencies of surrender. I started drawing on the frequency of ecstasy, pleasure, reconnection, and all of these actually allowed the voice within to become louder than the voices out there. And that was a really big, like, powerful step on my journey of reconnecting to myself and actually releasing some of this burnout. Because what started to happen was I would lie in the sun, I would reconnect to my body, I would take the Yoni Elixir, I'd place it in my hands, and I would start to do a womb massage on side of my body. And using the sun rays actually allowed some of these gut issues that I was having to heal, and allowed for my circadian rhythms to start working in a much more powerful way, allowing me to sleep really deeply and actually reconnect to the voices that came through my dream state. This was the second thing that I did. I started to listen to what was happening in my dreams. I started being able to firstly hear what was happening in my dreams, because when I was stressed and when I had all this cortisol running through my body, I couldn't even listen to my dreams. I didn't even know what I was dreaming about, because I would wake up and I'd be in a state of stress, and I'd be in a state of I need to do something. So as I switched from that state of stress back into deeper sleep, the circadian rhythms of my body were starting to work in a much better way, because I was bringing sunlight onto my skin, which then balanced my hormones, and it started to balance the stress in my body. I was able to listen to my dreams, and my dreams started to inform me about what I needed to do next. And that was really simple. It was this process of recognizing that there was real symbols inside of these dreams, like flowers and smells and scents and things like this. And all of this was actually pointing me to the music that I needed to listen to, the smells that I needed to take in. And really all of these were related to my senses, which is the third thing that I started to do, connect back to my sensuality. So I worked on the self-care part through self-massage. I started to listen to my dreams, and then the symbolism that came through my dreams was feminine things like the flowers, like the scents, like the touch, like the furs, like all these different feelings and textures that were actually informing me of what I needed to do and what my body needed to call home my soul, to call home my alignment, to call home actual empowerment in my being again. And so once I connected into these senses, I started to open up to the yoni elixir for one, and started working with these herbal infusions. So one of the herbal infusions you'll find in yoni elixir is chamomile, and chamomile actually reduces cortisol in the body, and because you're taking it in through the yoni, it's such a porous place inside of the body that it's able to go into the bloodstream a lot quicker. So I was working with chamomile, I was working with raspberry leaf, which actually relaxes the uterus and lining and massages the muscles around the uterus. It also worked with ashwagandha, which started to bring my life force back online and allow my sensuality, my libido to rise a little bit. And all of these things actually were able to connect me back to my senses, connect me back to my feminine. And as I started to connect to my feminine energy, this is actually when I started to see burnout start to leave my system, because I was really reconnected to my life force and not hooked in to something outside of myself. So a really powerful time for me to actually recognize the power of what actually started to happen as I connected to my feminine energy. And now this is really what I want for all women. I want women to experience this, and this is why I created Yoni Elixir, because Yoni Elixir is that. It is the self-care, it is the sensuality, it is the dreaming and coming back to those rhythms that you know inside of your body, coming back to your cycle, coming back to your feminine process of how you connect into your intuition, into your instinct. So hopefully this has been quite helpful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments anything that you've done to resolve burnout. For me, it's all about sisterhood, coming together, reconnecting to our cycles and to the circle of women that actually allow us to empower ourselves and get to that next level of our evolution. Thank you.